Let's go. Welcome in to the CHGO Bears Pregame Show on this somewhat overcast Saturday, just down the way here. Bears and Bengals getting ready to go for preseason game number 3 for the Bears, number 2 for the Bengals. Adam Hoge, Greg Braggs Jr. with you on this pregame show as we'll break it all down going into this game, what matters most. We'll have Nicholas Moreano report live from Soldier Field coming up, and everybody excited to see Caleb Williams make his Soldier Field.
I am so excited. I can barely contain myself.
No way.
Yes, so excited.
You're excited?
But you know what? This fucking rain, man. 2 days in a row now. The joint practice. Now it's raining again here in Chicago.
Is it even raining?
Yeah, it is raining. It's raining. Okay. Go out there. It's raining.
He's a little busy right now. Maybe he'll do it after.
No, go.
All right, I'll go check it out.
Go check it out. I'm telling you, it's raining, and it sucks. And if you see the naked guy in the balcony, tell him I said hi. Yep, head out to our family farm's patio. He doesn't know how to unlock doors. This is his problem. And this is, for all you guys watching, your absolute worst nightmare. I am Greg Braggs, and I am your host and the only one here now on the CHGO Bears pregame show. Is it raining?
No, all I hear is the nuclear helicopter starting over.
That's right. The Democratic National Convention right down the street as well from our studio.
It stopped raining. It's going to be fine. The field is fine. Everything's fine. Caleb's going to be fine. Everything's good. There's nothing to worry about. It's definitely not going to rain as much as it did at Thursday's practice, because that was, at one point, that was basically like the monsoon that happened at Soldier Field a couple of years ago. Like, there were points where it was raining that hard. Yeah, let's jump in, though, and I guess the word is hopefully Caleb Williams and the starters are going to actually play in this game. That is and has been the plan, but not really loving the updates coming from Soldier Field right now.
No.
With the turf, and Caitlin Sharkey from WGN has been all over this morning, along with Brad Biggs and some others, but she has tweeted out some photos of the seams in the grass. They obviously had to do some resodding. Metallica was there last weekend. I don't know if the whole field was resodded or just parts of it, but it's never good when you can see the actual seams.
Right.
And we also have seen, I think Caitlin also had a video of Ryan Poles walking around with the grounds crew, inspecting certain points of the field that you could definitely see those seams coming up right there. Like they're trying to mat down a spot where the grass is coming up. I don't know. This is
it's not good. It's not good. I mean, we had this happen a couple years ago for a family fest, and all the fans showed up, assuming there was going to be a practice, and then it got canceled while everyone was there. And as they were going out there and inspecting the field, it was the exact same thing, only this time now, I mean, they canceled a practice because that's a little easier. This is, to your point before we came on the air, like the TV's involved. There's a lot of money that's at stake with a game like this, but at the same time, it's not acceptable at the end of the day. You got to have the proper field conditions for both teams. And, obviously we care for our Bears, but, you had a couple players for the Bengals unfortunately get hurt at Halas Hall. No fault of the field or anything like that. But, they come here to Chicago with the expectation that their players are going to be safe. And now you come to they've already had 2 players hurt. Now they come to the field here at Soldier Field, and it's conditions just not good enough. And it makes all of us uneasy as fans. So this just speaks to the larger issue about the Bears need to have their own stadium, whether it's in Arlington Heights or in Chicago, so they can upgrade all these different aspects.
Well, look, in the short term today, I don't really see a scenario in which the game wouldn't get played. And honestly, even with that video and some of the photos, I don't know that it rises to the point where you're even going to consider that. But this isn't a practice. It's a game, and you can't really just cancel it with everything at stake, TV, concessions, all the things that come along with it, tickets. This is the Bears' only home preseason game. Gate revenue, all that type of stuff. Now, do you not play your starters if you're worried about it?
Right.
Like that's a decision that could be made here, which would be a bummer because you're trying, as coaches, you're trying to accomplish some things. You have a game plan. Flus said the starters are going to play. It's supposed to be about a quarter, whatever the snap count is, right around there. Maybe that's a touch more than the 15-ish plays from last week. At this point, I as much as we would all hate it, and it would make our post-game show a lot harder.
Yep.
I wouldn't blame them if that's the decision that's made here in the next hour or so.
Alex Flores here in the chat saying Courtney Cronin just said on ESPN 1000 she's been at Soldier Field, I think, since like 4 a.m. doing Sports Center hits. Yeah. It's not on. Courtney Cronin apparently said on ESPN 1000 it's not on the field, but in the end zone and outside the lines. Still a huge concern, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to finish your routes, you got to run out of bounds at times, and Metallica's concert stage, even where the fans were standing, at least from the pictures I saw, the stage covered the whole field. So it's not like fans were standing on the actual grass. But then when you put these platforms on the field, that affects the sodding, because they come in squares. This isn't just one full, grass field. So, like, you're seeing, like we showed in those pictures, how it's pulling up, and that's terrifying.
Yeah. Now more. So that's kind of short term, what it can mean for today. We'll hear an update here from Nick, in about 23 minutes or so, and hopefully he'll have more on this. But, long term, I'm surprised by this because the Bears have made a lot of strides with this field in the last couple of years. For years sort of been in this battle with the Park District and who's got say over what they can do and all these concerts and all these events. And, you got soccer games being played there too, all types of things. And in comes Matt Eberflus, of all people. Well, what about this Tahoma 31 everyone's using? And they put it in, and it's an instant success because the first game played on it is that monsoon against the 49ers, and it holds up pretty well. And now they got it installed at Halas Hall. Everybody seems really happy with it. The field it's gone from one of the worst to something that within the last month, Matt Eberflus is talking about in the press conference saying everybody wants this now.
Yep.
So I'm surprised that this is an issue this morning, but it is a reminder of whatever the outcome is in terms of who owns what, the Bears have to have more control over their new stadium. It'd be great if they own it outright and can have total control over all this stuff.
Yep.
But, I go back to what I was talking about with Lambeau earlier this week. Lambeau's not owned by the team, but they essentially have enough control over it to the point that I go on a tour there. You're not allowed to walk on the field. Nobody's allowed to touch the field. Mm-hmm. We have nuclear helicopters flying over here for the DNC. They have that for every day.
Why do you keep calling them nuclear helicopters?
Because they are nuclear. They search for. It's scary. They're searching for nukes.
Okay. All right. Well, and we also, like, I was talking to Steven about this on the phone on the way here, and we were talking about the precautions that have to take place. And I was like, well, we better be careful about what we say because I might get pulled over if the wrong thing gets flagged. They're watching everything at this point.
Yeah, I was coming in, and there's a parking lot of about 150 police officers all on bicycles. I don't know, like, probably just planning ahead for the DNC over here. But, yeah, I mean, the precautions they're going to the top of the order here.
Yeah. Gritty said they're trying to find Carm.
We all are very lucky that Carm's not here for this stadium discussion. But, it's like I said on Twitter, please don't do this to me. Don't make me hate Metallica. for canceling a game. I love Metallica.
Can we be clear? And yes, maps to million. Technically, they'd be anti-nuclear helicopters. It's fair point. Fair point. They're just security. Okay, they're just protecting all of us, and we greatly appreciate the lengths that they're all going to, or to make sure this is a safe week here for us. And by the way, they don't actually fly helicopters over Lambeau to protect the turf. But that's the point, is that it's that serious there, and they have the synthetic grass and all this stuff. So it sucks that we're here again. I hope that this does not continue to be an issue this season, because that would be a departure from what we've seen the last couple of years, and nobody wants to see anybody get hurt in any football game, but especially if it's turf related. So we'll continue to follow this story here.
As Metallica would say, you know it's sad but true. Dun, dun, dun. All right, I'm done. For whom the bell tolls.
I thought Carl
time marches on. He would never know how to reference Metallica.
I was so close to hitting the end screen there. I'm like, oh, that's enough.
That would be great. And by the way, it's not Metallica's fault.
I know.
It's not Metallica's fault that they just come in and out.
When I start blaming people, it's a say and spray thing. Everyone is at fault. That's what happens. That's what happened last year with the Bears, and that's what will happen today if they cancel this game. Yeah. I will blame Nick Moreano if this happens.
All right. Well, it probably is Nick's fault. It's probably Courtney's fault for being out on the field since 4 a.m. What's she been doing out there?
That's what I'm saying. Sabotaging?
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Well,
trying to make the push to Arlington Heights, Courtney? See what you're doing.
Well, hopefully this is Caleb Williams' debut. And there's been some good debuts, even if they're preseason. Mm-hmm. In the past, I don't know if this is something fans want to hear, because it kind of puts things a little bit of perspective that maybe this doesn't matter. But here are some notable Bears debuts from Bears quarterbacks
at
Soldier Field. So these are all preseason games. Technically, their debut in front of the fans. Justin Fields went 14 for 20, 142 passing yards and a touchdown, but also ran for 33 yards and a touchdown.
Against the Dolphins.
Trubisky went 18 of 25 for 166 passing yards and a touchdown against
the Denver Broncos.
And Jay Cutler, who came from the Denver Broncos, showed up to Soldier Field, went 8 of 13, 121 passing yards.
I don't remember this one.
No, I got this.
No, wait. I would just be guessing. I don't know.
New York Giants.
Yeah, it's been a long time, man.
I forget. He played the Giants and got sacked.
I remember his first day at training camp. It felt like the Beatles had showed up. They had to put barricades where the players walked off the field the next day because people were getting trampled because of Jay Cutler.
Because we had never seen you were trampling them.
Yes. Well, we had never at that point seen a quarterback that could throw it over 10 yards. So it was shocking. Forgive us.
Guy Finley's wondering what the super chat price is for any of the CHGO hosts to never sing again.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Well,
we could start the bidding at $500.
It's not a bidding.
We would have to give him a refund within a week. There's no way we'd make it.
Yeah.
Especially with Carm.
No, Carm will be here whenever
he
gets back, and he'll just immediately start singing.
I'm sorry. I think I nailed that Metallica there. You can like Metallica or not like Metallica, but I thought I nailed that a little bit.
I will say it was way better than Carm singing ever.
Thank you. At least give me that.
That's a really low bar, but it was better.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can have that. All right. Well, regardless, it just kind of puts in perspective that whatever Caleb does today doesn't necessarily mean it'll translate to regular season success, but it is still nice to have him come out in front of the.
I am so excited.
The fans. And
it was surprising to me when I'm looking through that, though, seeing that all three of those quarterbacks had very successful Soldier Field, granted preseason debuts. And it kind of made me wonder, what is the bar for Caleb today? Are we looking for something? Is there a certain threshold we're looking for him to pass?
Well, let's get on that here.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to talk about here with what matters most in a second. But first, maybe you were thinking about going the game today. Maybe you still are. I mean, you have 45 minutes to make a decision, and if you were to do something like that, the place you'd want to go is Game Time. because they are specifically known for last-minute ticket deals. I mean, you can go on there whenever and get your tickets, and they're always going to have some type of good deals for you, but last minute especially. So if you're thinking about going today, check out Game Time. Game Time is actually an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the start of the game. They have killer last-minute deals, all-in prices. They'll show you views from your seats, and they have the low price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets and really all tickets. So they have flash deals. You hit the yellow button that pops up on the app. You swipe it, and it'll show you whatever the hottest deal is in that moment. Also, you could do zone deals where you just sort of buy a general area of the stadium, so you don't necessarily know the specific seats you're getting until right before game time, but you're getting a big discount for doing that. I've done that before, and especially when it comes to baseball, it's great. So again, you want to see what your views from your seats are, they got you hooked up with that. All-in pricing, so you can know what your total is up front. You don't get hit with those surprise fees at checkout. No, Game Time takes care of you, so you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHGO, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
That's right. And I'm sure many Bears fans are having themselves a nice cold Miller Lite right now. A lot's changed over the years. One thing that hasn't, the great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that hasn't changed is that it's less filling. So what is the best about the original light beer? Well, Miller Lite sparked this debate in 1975 when Mark Carman was at the ripe age of 53 years old.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, 100%. And we still haven't settled this debate. And that's why,
How old Mark is?
Yes, how old Mark is, and whether Miller Lite is great taste, less filling. What do you like more about it? Well, Miller Lite keeps it simple. Undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. A light beer that tastes like beer. Less filling, only 96 calories. The original light beer since 1975. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. Go have yourself a Miller Lite.
Ooh, nicely done. I like it.
It's my vendor call, if I was a beer vendor.
Well, you ripped that off from somebody whose name Carm would definitely know.
Just Carm himself. He once was a beer vendor.
Yeah, but he wouldn't yell that like that.
No, he would have said it in
what you just did is a very specific vendor that I've heard for years at both baseball games. Probably
yes,
all the
stadiums.
Stadiums where he says it like that. Say it again.
Miller Lite.
Yeah. And Carm would definitely know his name. I apologize, I don't.
Carm would say it in Jordan voice or.
Certainly have a Miller Lite today.
Oh God, Steven. See, people had a break for a week, good sir, and you just dragged it right back in. We are missing that idiot. I know he's on mushrooms in a forest somewhere right now, but
I'm jealous. Couple notes here before we get into what matters most. Guess who's at the game today? Shouldn't be a terrible surprise. It wouldn't be a terrible surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise. Okay. Who do you think's there? Celebrity.
Simone Biles
standing on the sideline right now.
Let's go.
Maybe she did a bunch of flips and ruined the field.
Well, I
don't think she did though. She's wearing a walking boot. According to the photo I'm looking at right now.
Wow.
So,
playing, she won a gold injured.
Yeah, just 3 gold medals by her.
There,
look at that right there. Good job.
All right, impressive. You won some gold medals, but Tariq Cohen did many a flips on that field.
Okay.
I don't really know why I said that. I just thought I would add that to the discussion.
Let's not minimize what Simone
Shout out
Biles
to my guy
did.
Tariq.
She did have
just
like
recently
a minor
retired.
injury during the Olympics.
Yeah,
so
she was playing hurt.
Yeah.
That's just casual 3 golds while hurt. No big deal. Nate Davis can't practice. That was unnecessary. Another tweet from Mark Potash, too, I wanted to share. You don't have to put this on the screen, Steven. It's Potsy humor. Beautiful day for exhibition football on Chicago's magnificent lakefront. The Bears 2-0 versus the Bengals 0-1 at noon at Soldier Field on Fox 32. Caleb Williams' home debut. The last time Williams played in the Midwest, he threw 3 picks in the first half versus Notre Dame.
Oh, I'm sure that will keep Bears Twitter on their toes this morning.
I haven't even seen the replies yet. I'm afraid to look. If you can't appreciate Mark Potash's humor,
you don't like having fun.
Yeah, even when it comes to any type.
What did he say when I said hi to him? Yes, the other day at camp, you walked by because he's been ignoring me lately.
I think he was scared of you. All right, let's get to what matters most today in this game, and I'm going to go with the offense. I just think it's important, especially when you consider that the Bengals are playing their backups. Just keep the momentum going. Like, I don't need specifics. It doesn't matter if Caleb Williams throws a touchdown or doesn't throw a touchdown.
Yes, it does.
Okay, it does. It just keep the momentum going. We've seen this trend. It's been I'm very excited about it, to be honest with you. He has gotten better as camp has gone along. The offense has gotten better.
No question.
It's good to see it against the Bills. You could argue it matters even more that they look pretty good against the Bengals defense in practice the other day when the Bengals had their starters on the field and were probably throwing more at the Bears offense than they're going to do when they're vanilla today in the game. And Caleb Williams handled it, throwing touchdowns to DJ Moore and Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen. This is a very positive trend. So I think just what matters most today, you're going up against the Bengals backups, just keep it going. It doesn't have to be an amazing performance, but, let's not all of a sudden have pre-snap penalties and turnovers and all those types of things. That shouldn't happen today against the Bengals backups. That's all.
Yep, and that's fair. And I think the thing that was probably the most exciting coming away from that joint practice where Caleb played pretty well, had some touchdown passes to, all the 3 big wide receivers, was the Bengals beat writers and some of their takeaways. And one of the guys specifically saying like his biggest takeaway was how impressed he was by Caleb Williams. These are guys that have been seeing Joe Burrow the last few years. So, you start to get an eye of what good quarterback play is. So that was very encouraging to see an outside perspective, him and Jay Morrison, who joined our preview show yesterday. I think those are signs in the right direction. So I'm rolling with you on that. Although I would like Caleb Williams to throw 3 touchdowns in 2 series of action today. My thing that's most important is Velus Jones cannot fumble the football today. I hear what you're saying yesterday or, after the joint practice, how you're encouraged, Adam Hoge, on your, viewpoint of the leaps that Velus Jones starting to make in the backfield, or the progress, I should say. And that's great. He's going to finally find the right role for him on this team. But ultimately, last week, he tried to catch a kickoff, you got to bring it down, and I know he knows Elbows in. This is the special teams coach over here.
I will start yelling immediately if I see somebody trying to catch.
Right.
Now, there are some certain random times where the ball does carry on you where you might have to do it. But
right. So
you should never be doing that by choice.
Ever. But even though he's had a history of fumbling the football that's costed regular season wins in games, he gets a little bit of a pass last week because this whole kickoff thing is very new in the way they're going to, do this. So there's an adjustment. But now he's also in the backfield as a running back. And you cannot show these coaches that you're still putting the ball on the turf on a weekly basis. And so I don't know if another fumble is going to cost him a roster spot on this team. But if I'm Velus Jones, I am determined that does not happen the rest of the preseason, because I don't even want that to be a thought into Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus's ear. So that, for me, is the most important thing. Velus Jones, keep your progress going and keep that football off the ground. And at practice, you're seeing a lot of the guys challenging him, like trying to rip it out after the whistle, and he's holding on to it well. But that ball security when the lights come on and it's game day is what matters most.
Well, and to your point, that very well could be the deciding factor on whether or not this running back thing
right
works.
Ian Wheeler's pushing him a little bit, for sure, but
you got to, ball security is number one always,
paramount,
and I think he's gonna be fine. I think he's gonna get in the mix here, but if he starts fumbling,
he fumbled on a running back snap today. That's not what we want.
No. All right. And Steven is also going to chime in here with what matters most to him today.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of piggybacking off of what, Braggs, you were just saying, and that is I want to know what we have in Ian Wheeler, because we've seen a lot of up and down from Velus Jones Jr., as you just mentioned. When I'm watching Hard Knocks and what I saw at training camp practice, I see Ian Wheeler has a ton of burst. He's got the speed, and he's also got the pedigree. He's done it before. We've seen him return kicks over at Howard back when he was in college. I want to know what Ian Wheeler is to this team. Is he a practice squad player? Is he going to make the roster? And if so, what is his role going to be? Because if we do go into the season as Velus Jones as the kick returner, well, what if we end up in the same situation we were in last year where it just wasn't working? We need somebody to be that backup to what Velus Jones is. So for me, I want to know what Ian Wheeler is today, and I wanted to see him out there for at least 2 kick returns.
Yeah. I mean, that is an area where you think, like if there's a scenario where Velus doesn't end up being here, it's because they found another kick returner who also could probably be a punt returner. I don't know if Ian Wheeler can do that, but get him some reps. Let's see what he could do. I agree with that. And then I think there's a number of other things, right? Who, can Austin Booker continue to, make impact plays? I'm a little annoyed that the Bengals aren't playing their starters, just from a competitive standpoint. Like, you want to see guys get certain reps against guys who are going to be playing on Sunday, next month, and you're not really getting that opportunity today. So, there's certain matchups like that from a one-on-one thing. I mean, I was annoyed Thursday that Jamar Chase wasn't on the field. I just wanted to see Jalen Johnson and Jamar Chase go after it in a practice.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I get that. Forgive me for being completely distracted, but coming across the Twitter sphere and picture, I just put it in Slack, and I think my what matters most might change now. We brought up Simone Biles being at the game, and it appears she is wearing a Green Bay Packers jacket. Now, to be fair to her, this is a jacket that's, showing off her husband, who once played for the Green Bay Packers last year, Jonathan Owens.
I've got a zoomed in look here. You could see it pretty clearly.
We can't have this, Simone. We love you. We're going to embrace you and Jonathan Owens here in this city. But I think you're severely underestimating just how ridiculous meatballs like me and the rest of Bears Nation will take something like that as you're wearing a Packers logo on the Chicago Bears sidelines. Never mind how George McCaskey might feel about that with his affinity, his hatred for the Green Bay Packers.
I mean, Jonathan Owens might be on the bubble. I mean, this might have been the worst outcome for him in a preseason.
We got to get somebody to hook her up with a new jacket. Like, who do we call?
I mean, look, to be fair,
cancel the game.
I think it would be more accurate to call that a Jonathan Owens jacket than a Packer jacket. And she should be supporting her husband.
Yes.
1,000%. But you don't wear that on. There's other ways you can do that. There's other ways you can do that.
Oh no, Simone.
Yeah, that can't.
Like, she should lose 1 gold medal from that. I don't think I'm being over dramatic here. Like
Maybe the silver.
no.
Maybe the silver.
No. The Packers colors are gold. You're going to wear gold on our field. Then we're taking one of your gold medals. Oh, man.
I mean,
Shocking.
Look, I learned my lesson last year that you can't even have fun with it.
No.
Or you will never hear the end of it. So, yeah, that's boy, that kind of throws me off, to be honest with you.
That threw me off. I saw Gary in the chat put it in there, and I was like, that can't be. But Gary's never wrong on his reporting, and I never wrong on his reporting, sir. And sure enough, there it is. Get her off the field. Thank you for representing our country with grace and
Simone Biles is awesome.
She's great. Her jacket sucks.
We'll fix the jacket. We'll get the jacket fixed. All right. In the meantime, make sure you're checking out Circa. If you are, potentially looking to make some investments on this football game today, even in the preseason, you can do it. And if you're going to go anywhere, you want to go to Circa because they have tight money line splits. Their low hold model, games that strive to be on a -110 split. Unlike other sports books, they're going to give you -115, -120. What does all that mean? That means they're taking more of your money off the top just to place your bet. Circa Sports keeps as little money as possible on large market bets like futures, golf tournaments, things like that, especially compared to other books. They have high app limits. They're completely transparent. They encourage bettors to download and explore all sports betting apps. Go do it. Check them out for yourself. You're going to see Circa has the best lines. Their customer service is outstanding. They have real people behind the Circa Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion. And all aspects of their app are being run by the same team that runs the main Circa Sports book at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, which is outstanding. We've been there. We love it. There's no better place to go when you're out there in Vegas. So the same people are running this app. You want the app. You're going to download Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app. Again, that's circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today and also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. And as Greg knows, they are with us for all Cubs Friday 120 clubs.
That's right.
If you or someone you know has a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537 or text GAMB to 833-234. Visit areyoureallywinning.com.
That's right. And the Cubs were winning at the Friday 120 Club yesterday in extras with our guys over at Circa. So I'm just going to say this to Simone Biles. I have an offer to you. I understand that, you're trying to update your wardrobe, and I have the best solution for you since you're, wearing your Packers gear on the Soldier Field turf, and that's, a bridge too far for us Bears fans. But I'm going to extend you an olive branch, and that is, if you sign up to become a CHGO diehard, you can get a free shirt right out the gate, and you can get any kind of Chicago Bears apparel at your disposal on our locker at chgolocker.com. And when you become a diehard, not only do you get a free shirt right out the gate, but you get discounts on all future purchases across all our different teams, that we cover here in this great city of Chicago. You also get exclusive access to Adam Hoge's newsletter. He puts out weekly written content by Nick Moreano, Patrick Norton, who's making his Soldier Field debut here today, along with Caleb Williams. So we've got a lot of different things that you guys get when you become a CHGO diehard. This is the perfect time to do it because our tailgates are coming up. You can get discounts on all our different events, including, we're going to London. And if you weren't able to sign up for that trip with TrueFanTravel.com, you can join us in Phoenix, Arizona to see the Bears go head-to-head with the Arizona Cardinals on November 3rd. And trip packages include a 3-night stay at a 4-star hotel in Phoenix, Q&A with Bears alumni, still to be determined, but I do know that Corey Wooten will be attending this with us, all-inclusive tailgate party, round-trip transportation of the game, upper-level ticket to the Bears-Cardinals game. So reserve your spot at the party at TrueFanTravel.com now. Limited spots available, so sign up when you can. But again, becoming a diehard here at CHGO, go to allchgo.com/diehard and take advantage of all the different things that we have to bring to you and help you become the best damn Chicago sports fan you possibly can.
I should mention as we bring in Nicholas Moreano to the show live from Soldier Field that we have even more coverage from the game today, most coverage we've ever had, because our new guy, Pat Norton, who's been doing an outstanding job supporting the Bears Things newsletter and kind of putting all the trimming and the decoration around my thoughts, is also at Soldier Field and will be for all the home games this year. So make sure you're following Nick at Nicholas Moreano, but also at CHGO _Bears, because we're going to have more coverage than ever up there. Pre-game, in-game, post-game, all that, with Pat helping Nick out there. And Nick, we can only assume that when you get into this locker room after the game, the first person you're going to go find is Jonathan Owens, and you're going to ask him why his wife's wearing a Packer jacket at the game.
I mean, that seems right, you guys. We spotted Simone Biles, and then as we kind of looked at the walking boot and then saw the jacket, we're like, oh no. I mean, I get it. It's Jonathan Owens, but it's not the right team. So I think that needs to be talked about. We'll see if we can get Jonathan after the game, but yeah, not the right look.
Well, if you've been a longtime viewer of this show, you know that there's two things that are undefeated at Soldier Field, and that is field conditions being questionable and the Wi-Fi sucking. And right now we appear to be bringing those together. As I try to ask Nick what's going on with the field conditions while he fights through the Wi-Fi that is Soldier Field Wi-Fi. What do you got?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Hopefully it comes through, but there are definitely some spots on the field that are not in the best shape. When I was down there around the midfield, there were some patches of grass actually coming up. You see some spots also in the end zone. It was a little wet out there, as there's been a little bit of drizzle on and off here. But as I was watching and currently watching the players on the field, like, I haven't seen any players slipping. So, I mean, that's a good sign, but there are pieces of grass coming up, and got a chance to talk to Jason McKee as he was just actually walking on the sideline. I just asked him, like, hey, how's the grass feel down there? And he mentioned it's kind of shitty, and you could see some of the seams. So he's just being real with me about what the field looks like. And you've seen Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham kind of stopping on their weekly routes along the field here just to check on certain spots. So it doesn't look as good, but like I said, I haven't seen players losing their footing here. There are just pieces of the grass coming up.
Well, what's the weather like
It's
over
funny,
there?
as we talk to you, Nick, we can hear the rain landing on our roof here above us. So I don't know if that's headed your way to Soldier Field. It probably is, but
we're about 10 minutes across the city from Nick Moreano, from where our studio is, and right now, Nick, it is pouring outside. So opposite side of the Sears Tower, as I still call it, but it's probably coming to you next.
Yeah, it's not here yet. So we have that going for us as we're, a couple 20 minutes before kickoff. But I guess, if it's raining over by you guys, it's most likely going to come this way. But as of right now, it's not currently raining. So maybe in like 2 minutes after that'll change.
Well, okay, so then what are your expectations for who's going to play? I heard that is Roschon Johnson in pads. I heard some reporting that maybe he isn't. So I'm just trying to get an idea of who you think's going to get some reps and who won't.
Yeah, so I was trying to look for number 23 out there, and I couldn't find him with the rest of the running backs. So I wouldn't expect Roschon to get some reps in this game, just given I haven't even seen him out here. But saw Nate Davis, number 64. He was in full pads. It looks like the full starting offensive line. Ryan Bates isn't in pads, but you have Braxton Jones, Tevin Jenkins, Coleman Shelton, Nate Davis, and then Darnell Wright. So expect that line to be out there for this one for Caleb Williams. And I know there's maybe speculation, will we not see the starters due to the grass? As of right now, we saw that first team offense go up there. Caleb Williams was up there. That starting offense was out there. The rest of his playmakers. So If anything doesn't change with the weather, it kind of looks like that's what's going to be the direction the Bears are going to go in.
Nick, we always start these pregame shows. Well, today we had to talk about the field, but usually we'll talk about what matters most. So for you, like, what are you really focused on from that perspective, and how you know, when we're talking 4 hours or so from now on the post-game show, what matters most?
You got to come out of this game without injury. Like, Adam, we were there at that joint practice. We saw 2 Bengals players go down, and you just don't want that to be the case after this one, where we're talking about one of these stars for the Bears, for either team, honestly, to be injured because of the field conditions. So that's my number one priority. But looking at the actual game itself, it's, again, seeing Caleb Williams continue to operate this offense. Obviously, they didn't get into the end zone last week with a touchdown. Let's see if they can change things up with, just how they operate down in the red zone if they get down there again. And then, seeing Nate Davis back and seeing how that offensive line operates with him at right guard, that's going to be something I'm focused on. And one player I didn't mention who's also back out here repping with the first-team defense was Kyler Gordon and Tyreek Stevenson. So if they get some play in this one, just seeing how they look in game action, because we really haven't seen too much of them on the playing field as of late. So just want to see how those 2 guys in the secondary mesh with everything going on with this defense so far.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see some of these guys out there. Kyler came back this week and seemed to look like Kyler again. So, he's a very important player on this defense. So getting some of those guys out there will be good. All right, Nick, we do a pregame segment with you called Less or Moreano. And today, as we look at that glorious picture.
It's like a Woot arm.
Well, no, actually, how I made this is the one that's camera on the right here. That's actually my arm. And then the other one is Nick's arm.
Wow.
So that's what I did.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
Okay,
Nick.
well, shots being fired there.
Wow.
That's crazy. But I love that the tats even made it. Attention to the detail. I think we're going just Caleb Williams snaps, 15.5. We're going less or Moreano on this one?
Man, I'm gonna go more on this one, only because
Let's go, Nick.
Again, we don't know what Eberflus's plan is for next week, with given it's a short week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I know it's not ideal weather conditions, but if Eberflus thinks he can get those reps in with Caleb Williams in this game against the Bengals, obviously having to joint practice as well, I still think we see 15 over that 15 number. Obviously, he had 18 last week against the Buffalo Bills, but I think we go over.
All right, Lesser Moreano, 15.5 snaps for Nate Davis.
I think as long as the first team offense is out there, I think Nate Davis is going to be out there. So I'm going over or more on that one as well. So I think he needs the reps. And obviously after, him speaking at the podium earlier this week, I think he has something to prove. And as long as that first team offense is out there, I expect Nate Davis to be out there. So I'm going more as well.
And lastly, Lesser Moreano carries for Velus Jones. 10 at 10.
Ooh.
10. I'm getting crazy. How many did you have last week?
10 seems like a lot.
How many did you have last week?
I think he had like 7 or around 7 maybe
He had
last
a
week.
bunch
I
of
know
the same.
I got that one wrong.
I'll look it up.
I'm setting it at
Okay.
10 while Adam
You
looks
look-
it up. Lesser more. Iano.
Let's see. We have Ian Wheeler. We have Khalil Herbert, but we don't have Roshan Johnson in this one. So does Velus get more reps? Wow, that's a crazy number you put it at, Greg.
Carries, hang on, 6 carries, 34 yards last week. You said 10?
Yeah.
All right.
An uptick.
Well, you know what? Let's go more. Let's keep it consistent. We're going more in all 3 of these categories. I'm definitely gonna get this one wrong as we see this game play out, but we're going more across the board.
And especially with the rain in the field, I think everything's could potentially go less just because of those.
See, I think last week you could say it was 6 because there's probably a limited number of plays. This week there should be more installed for him.
Right.
I would
field.
and you got to see what he can do. Yeah, but he's not DeAndre Swift.
I know.
Like, let's
we
see what
want him to be.
But honestly, here let me. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. You said earlier, What matters most is, does he fumble? Okay, so field conditions, is that ball wet?
Yep.
Let's see if he can hold on to it. Give him more opportunities. I would go over on that.
And the rain is coming down now, too. So if you're talking about a wet ball and hanging on to it, the elements are not in the Bears' favor or Bears fans. As we're all heading in and getting their ponchos and trying to avoid getting wet before the game actually starts here. So just like Thursday, it's not like Thursday, though, Adam, where that rain was going sideways. And actually now it just picked up. Maybe I'm speaking too soon here. But, yeah, it is. It's coming down here now at Soldier Field.
It was raining, and we learned that those canopies, they don't completely stop the sun, and they don't completely stop the rain either.
Good. Bastards.
You were happy it was pouring. You were in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
Actually, we're doing some looks like the grounds crew is putting in, or just working on the field right now. They're putting in a whole new field right now. They're like, this is not going to do it. We need a new one.
They got Tony Medlin out there rolling out the new field.
Weatherman Hoge is out here looking at the radar.
I tried to play Weatherman on Thursday, and I failed miserably. Brendan Segru.
Look, it's a spotty as hell.
Yeah, it's spotty.
I think it's going to be mostly dry, but you're just going to get random showers. There's another one coming in from Oak Park right now. So might have a little bit of a downpour right at kickoff. And then I think it'll be mostly dry, though. We'll see.
We'll see. It's coming down.
All right, Nick, enjoy the game. We'll talk to you post-game after you hear what's going on in that locker room and get to the bottom of, this Jonathan. I guess Simone did put out a video that says "Go Bears."
She damn well better. And the video she put out, she kind of slouched the jacket down so you couldn't see the shoulders on them. So, I mean, this is just a big, this is a big controversy.
You don't need the jacket.
I know.
You could have just gone no jacket.
And honestly, Nick, I don't know if you could see down there, but when it started pouring, was she out there and did the jacket get ruined?
Ooh, great. You know what? I think she was gone by the time. It definitely started raining like this. So the jacket is probably still intact, but I don't know. Things have changed.
I'm with this guy in the comments. Tony Medlin just needs to get her a Bears rain jacket.
Right
now.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Where's
Tony.
that?
He's got plenty.
Hook her up.
Where's that lyrical lemonade guy? No, do something. So one of you guys,
All right. Nick, enjoy the game. Make sure you're following Nick on Twitter at Nicholas Moreano and at CHGO_Bears for updates all game long. We will talk to Nick post game. All right. It is time to make some predictions. And, once we get to the regular season, this will be more of a actual game prediction.
No, we were doing this. It's like Carm when I'm not ready. Something.
You remember the meeting where we talked about how we have this great prediction segment sponsored by Ray Auto Group?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
we did. We talked about this for 2 days now.
Yeah.
Let's go, Ray.
You need to go check out Ray in Fox Lake. Ray Chevy, Ray CDJR. They got you hooked up. Tons of cars under $20,000. And always great deals going on. And Ray is going to be with us all season long as we make predictions. And today he did text in his prediction for us to share on the show. We might have to break this one down a little bit because it's a little confusing preseason because we did tell him, hey, we're not making game predictions. Right. But he does want to point out that he does think the Bears are going to win by 7 anyway, which is fair. And he's saying a little bit of a breakout game for Keenan Allen. Now, I find that interesting because if I'm being honest, I don't think Keenan Allen should play today.
No, I don't think Keenan Allen wants to play today.
I think with the Bengals going backups, I would be completely fine if DJ Moore and Keenan Allen didn't play. You have Rome Odunze running out there with Tyler Scott, Simba Webster.
Yeah.
Maybe give Valus a couple runs at wide receiver too. And that's how you roll this thing out. I'd be fine with that.
I think that's a great plan, actually. Yeah. DJ and Keenan sit. There's really no reason for them to play other than to build that chemistry with Justin, which is important. But at the same time, veterans do earn a certain leeway.
Which is where I'm going with my game prediction. And that is a guy I do think is going to play, and I do think will be featured because if Keenan and DJ sit, that means Rome is your number one wide receiver. And that chemistry has been building. We've seen a couple close calls. We saw in Buffalo last week. Probably should have been a touchdown if he runs to the back pylon instead of the front pylon in the scramble drill. I think they get on the same page today, and I think Caleb hits Rome Odunze for a touchdown.
Interesting.
And I also predict that you go crazy and run on the roof with your shirt off when it happens.
Happy to do that. In
the rain.
So I like where you're going with it, but trying to have a vision of how this will look in the red zone. To me, as much as I would love a Rome Odunze touchdown, I'm keeping that in my back pocket for week 1 against the Titans, week 2 against the Texans. So I'm going to go simple and easy in the 85. Cole Kmet in the end zone. Nice, simple play action up the seam. You know, they're getting the red zone. They run the ball a couple times, and then bang. Cole Kmet, little home run swing action in the end zone. First one of the year. Get your reps in for all those touchdowns you're going to get. And the 85 is going to score a touchdown today, and then you're going to hear about it next week on the 85 podcast. How do you like that?
We are we should be having a new episode come out early this week. I'm excited about it. We have to call ourselves out though. Did the entire chat is saying that one of us said Justin? You know,
I've been doing that a lot lately.
Yeah, did you do it or did I?
They said it was you.
I'm
Greg.
sure it was because
it,
yesterday I did it yesterday, and I've done it multiple times in Spaces.
It seems kind of hypocritical. You're calling out Simone Biles for wearing a Packers.
It's not, man. We
jacket,
spent 3 years saying the word Justin 9,000 times. I can't get the dang running backs coach's name right. I'm also a gigantic moron. So these are all the different things you have to consider when I start talking on these shows. I have no idea what I'm saying. It's just vomit words coming out of my mouth. And we're lucky if I can string together a sensible thought. This is what we're up against, people.
Oh.
There's no argument there. Nobody's like, no, Greg.
No,
Greg.
The only argument is that we don't want you to admit that on the air. That's the only thing.
Oh, yeah. Know thyself.
No, it's all good. It happens. The Chad Morton thing, I think, is hilarious.
That's
a little bit understandable.
Oh, man. Nothing.
I wanted to call David Walker, the old running backs coach, Greg Walker, the entire time he was here, who was a completely different coach in a completely different sport.
Yeah.
It happens. All right. We all good?
We got it all?
Yeah. Do we have any super chats or anything?
Yeah, we got 5 of them.
Okay. Appreciate everybody watching. Please hit the like button. And yes, I appreciate all the kind words on the 85 as well. Go check it out because fun new episode coming out. I think Monday morning. Don't completely quote me, but that's kind of the plan right now. Things are a little fluid, but we'll have another one. And if you missed last week's, go back and check it out. Jonathan Otten, $5. F no singing, hell yeah, brags. Metallica.
Let's go.
What's the last part?
I don't know. Probably a Metallica thing that I should know. Fuel, you know I burn. Fuel is pumping engines. Quench my thirst with gasoline. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Fuel, hit me. Sorry. I'm sorry.
You're
Metallica.
not sorry.
Like, there's few things that, like, when you
This is
shower,
like me
sing
talking to
the go-to shower songs.
This is me talking to my kids.
Seeger, Creedence, Metallica.
Someone just hit the dislike button. That's on you.
Don't tell them that that's a thing.
Well, you know, it's like I tell my son, don't be sorry, just don't do it in the first place. Joe, our guy Joe Henschel, $4.99. Tough decision to make with the starters. O needs the reps, but damn, you don't want someone going down. If it was up to you, what would you do? And hit the like button. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Never mind that other button, you jerks.
Yeah. Well, you started it. And then I probably added on to it.
Yeah, we don't help anything around here. But yeah, I'd probably play our guys, but very cautiously, and be very cognizant of the kind of plays we're calling, but they still need the reps. More reps equals more better, always.
Michael McCoy, $9.99. Good morning from Alaska. Can't make the CHGO trips this year, but I will be in Minnesota in December for Monday Night Football. Bear down. Yeah, Minnesota's a little closer to Alaska. We get it.
Yeah, for sure.
We should come to you, Michael. You want to do pre and post in Alaska?
Nick will buy you dinner.
In Alaska?
In Minnesota.
Oh, probably not.
Make the new guy do it.
I'll go to Manny's. You sent me to Minnesota. I'll go to Manny's with Michael. Joe coming in again here. That's going to be a terrible look on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, well, they do have final say on the cut, so it might not make the.
Ain't no way George is letting that in the episode. Fair Gamer, $2. The Miller Light guy's name is Lonnie. Thank you. Shout out to Lonnie. Legend.
Miller Lite. And you guys are getting a lot of different sound inflections from me today.
It's a little weird. $9.99. The Crown of Chi-Town. FGB Biles, Forgetting Game Day Boundaries, Fashion Gap Biles, Foolish Screen Betrayal.
I know George is going to have something to say about this, for sure.
I'm telling you, Jonathan Owens is on the bubble. Gritty, $2. Need Braggs to sing some Creed.
Creed was that.
We're not taking requests here. This is not karaoke pregame.
Carm's on here, but Creed was in Tinley Park with Three Doors Down yesterday. A lot of people were there.
Oh, I would have gone to that.
Yeah.
Aaron Highsmith, $1.99. I want to hear Greg sing.
Look at this. See?
All right, well, let me do this. Post-game, immediately when the game is over, please hit the like button again. And subscribe. Go subscribe to the 85 and all that. I will see you all in post game. The second the game's over, we're gonna be live. Be right here. Nowhere else. This is where you want to be. Hit the like button. Hit the notification button. You're ready to go. Appreciate everybody being here. Enjoy the game. Greg, you can sing us out.
Bear down, Chicago Bears. We're gonna go watch Caleb win us this. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Mark Harmon is tripping in a forest. We'll never forget the way I sung in this pregame, but it's getting old. We'll see you for the postgame, and you better have lots of drinks because that's what I am going to do because I'm a lush. Bear down.
We all silly like the mayor.